Think and grow rich, you'll learn to fly.
Welcome to the Live Ready podcast, Beyond Think and Grow Rich, with me, your host, David R. Ibarra. Today we have our guest is Chris Leonard with Linq Solar. Chris, welcome.
Hey, great to be here. Good to see you.
Now, we're going to talk about solar, and it's a controversy subject. Mm-hmm. We have some in leadership that says, we don't need alternative energy sources, and we should all depend on the power grid. What say you?
Yeah, great question. There is definitely a lot of different, naysay in it. I say that solar is not being biased because I've been in it for coming up on 15 years, but solar is one of the cheapest ways of generating electricity. Windmills have a lot of maintenance and repair. They're very, very expensive. Water turbines, a lot of maintenance and repair as well. But solar, you can get projects built and online, and there's enough sun going around that can power the world.
Well, and if we run out of sun, we're probably in trouble.
We got a lot bigger problems.
Well,
there goes our crops.
I tell you what, today it's interesting. Now without getting into the politics of the world, which really takes common sense out of any kind of discussion, there is no doubt in the most logical thinker that we are in a time period of our planet that is getting hotter. And if you don't believe that, you don't have to listen to any politician telling you what is or what isn't. Just go outside. It's hotter. Our winters are warmer, which means if we have the kind of heat, just 2 weeks ago in France, Europe, we had a heat wave. 10,000 people lost their lives during this week heat wave. So a heat wave means it is going to put a big demand on the grid, causing there to be blackouts or brownouts, which means there are certain parts of our country that they're planning to shut certain neighborhoods down, which would cause you to be very uncomfortable. How does solar help in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely all over the country things like that are happening. People are getting uncomfortable, and the main thing I think about is people with medical needs, oxygen tanks, compressors, different things like that, where solar and battery, like we did install on your home, if power goes out, they can still power those essential loads. And so that's where solar can be a really big benefit. Obviously, it can be expensive. And so there are some programs out there where people can get solar and battery at no money out of pocket. Somebody else owns it, maintenances it, and that can be for homes or for businesses. And that allows them to power their home or business in an outage, to have the air conditioner to keep them cool, or to have their medical devices still running. So, yeah, it's definitely a big impact.
Chris brought up, like I put in my home. So let's jump right to it. I decided at the fourth quarter of my work career and life that I wanted to build a residential spa that I would live in, that when it came to the point that aging caused me to not be as mobile, I wanted to be in a very comfortable environment. So instead of sizing down, I sized up. I built it to be a workout facility, a theater, that I could have a room for assisted living help if I needed it. I mean, this is where I want to live the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so it's not small, it's nice. But then I thought about this. Now, going to need an elevator, want to have a swimming pool, want to have a large home, and I never, ever want to experience a brownout. So I called Chris. So, Chris, we got together, and you looked at my house, approximately 8,000 square foot, and I told you I don't ever want to depend on the grid, and I never want to lose power in my house. So tell me, how is it that you guided me to equip my house to never have to worry about whether I turn off a light, whether the air conditioning is on too great, because I'm not using any power except for what I generate.
Right. Yeah. First off, thanks for the opportunity to be able to help you with your future, your future needs and your current needs. Definitely was an honor. But what we did is installed solar panels. First, you wanted the sunflower, the one that kind of opens up and spans around. But those ones, are really expensive and a lot of maintenance and operating, repair.
Well, I go to a clinic in Mexico, which I check in just for wellness. And I've been doing this for 33 years to, get the most out of life. And I want to work another 10 years, and I love working. So, but in this place, it is a high-tech health spa that I go to every fourth month for 3 days. And they had this sunflower that in the morning you're out there having a cup of coffee, the sun comes up, and it looks like a big tree, and all of a sudden the sun comes out, and this solar panel opens up. And I thought, man, that on a xeriscape yard would look great to have a couple of those. It's so futuristic. The only problem was I met you, and you told me, well, that's great, but it's not going to provide the kind of coverage in your house.
Yeah.
So
really awesome, technology that it can open up and follow the sun and track with it. With your house being tall, and where we wanted to put it, it just wasn't the most ideal, and we would need multiple of those. So what we did do is outfit your roof where you can't even see it from the ground level, which is really nice. And then we came in and put in batteries.
Now, we didn't put in just one battery.
No,
Not two batteries.
We did. We did the home grid battery system, which is awesome. They're out of Henderson, Nevada, but we did 4 stacks there. And
they're 3 units.
Or three stacks, you're right. Yeah. 3 stacks there. And the nice thing with those is they can be added onto.
So we have 3 individual batteries, 4 stacks each, or 3 stacks each?
4.
4 stacks each.
Yep.
And I don't believe that I've ever used any energy from the grid.
You've had to pull maybe just a little bit, but most of it is covering your loads. The thing with your system, when you were building your home, it was from the ground up, and we had building plans, so we didn't have previous usage from the past 12 months. We didn't know exactly what your usage patterns would be like. So there is the ability with your system that we could always add to it, because I know you do still have a little bit of an electric bill.
Well, since we bring up my electric bill, here's my electric bill, $32. So for a home, swimming pool, air conditioning, 8,000 square foot, 3 levels, theater, workout facility, oxygen chamber, red light, infrared, $32. And on it, it says $27 for the house and $5 for my electric car and the charger for that. But and I look at that every time I get that bill, and I look at this home, and I look how the comfort it gives me, elevator, everything, and $27 for the home. That's what it's been averaging this year.
That's great.
Now, this was last month's bill.
Okay.
So last month's bill, we experienced some heat. $32.
The solar and battery.
Including my car.
The solar and battery works. It's pretty wild.
I'll tell you something. That is fun. You know what I'd like to do right now, since we're talking about the house, and then we're going to talk about other projects that you're going on, and tell me about your total company, both companies you have. And I want to talk a little bit about the company that you use and the individual that is in this. We're going to take a minute pause, and we're going to watch a ad from, you're going to be our sponsor this month. So here's an ad from Chris Leonard and his company, and it's featuring what they did in my home. Let's watch it now.
In a world of rising rates and blackouts, one home never misses a beat.
I wanted to live the entire rest of my life like I was at a spa. But I thought to myself, I want to make sure that it's self-sufficient. 54 solar panels strategically placed on the roof to have 3 battery stations within the garage.
And we wanted to cover the whole house. We built the battery system. I mean, you have a 400 amp service.
If the power does go out, it's going to be there for you. That's great. You don't have to rely on the grid.
I came out utilizing about mid $400 a month in electricity. Then we turned on the solar batteries, and now we're using just a little titch over $100 a month.
We put in a lumen system. It's a smart system that actually gives you the ability to load shed loads in the home automatically. As you grow, it grows with you. And then we took it a step above and we added a generator.
It's working as it should. It's saving you money. You're avoiding the rate increases with the utility company.
And so our goal is to give you the longest time period in an off-grid scenario as comfortable as possible.
Make sure you're with the kind of company that I did business with. You care about the environment. You care about having people have the comfort of never having an outage. There's nobody better to call and get started. Wow, that was fun. And I'll tell you what, I think we did that in about 2 takes, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was easy. It was fun. Tell the audience a little bit more about what they saw in that 1.5-minute video of what you can do with solar. And who was the other individual we were talking to? What was his role? Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so that in the video you clearly saw that we put solar batteries and a generator on the home. A lot of people probably question, like, why solar battery and a generator? But the reason we did that is the solar will charge the batteries, but at nighttime, if the batteries discharge because of a crazy outage that needed to run through the night, if the batteries got all the way low, it would call the generator kicks on and recharges the batteries. So it's a dual source there, which is really nice. So that way you are never left without an outage. You could go weeks with power and certain things in the home. Within there, we also installed the lumen panel that you saw. And that gives you access to control where your power goes. So when the power goes out and you have a lot of things on, you can shut things off so that you can focus your power usage on the things that are really critical at that time. And in the video, you saw Nate Duke from Cubix Power, one of our close partners that I work with, builds a lot of my projects, but he's meticulous, he's perfectionist, he's really good, a master at his craft. And so that's why I love to bring him in to build the projects, and sure you enjoyed time with him.
And he told me I could put another panel in each one of the batteries.
Correct.
Right? I've got room for one more. Probably doesn't look like I need it, though.
No, in the winter months your bill's a little bit higher, but that's just because the sun is not as many sun hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I still keep looking at that $27 for that entire home.
Now imagine what it would feel like without that when you get that bill every month.
I just can't imagine building I've worked hard all my life, and I saved and saved and saved, and I had never thought I would want to have something as big. But then I thought, well, you know what? Your 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and then you're going to leave. They should be as nice as any other day, and I didn't want to size down. I wanted to enjoy, but I never dreamed that if I had a home like that, I know what I would be doing, walking around, turning every light off, who left the light on, and all that kind of stuff, which would take the joy away from a home like that. But my workout facility and my oxygen chamber that I spend an hour in every morning, and I laughed because $27.
It's great. You're living comfortable, and it's there if the outage ever happens. The nice thing, we don't have a ton, but you're comfortable.
What would happen, when we look around our country, and you look at Los Angeles, you look at other places that are having heat waves. There's going to be what is the difference between a blackout and a brownout?
Yeah, great question. So as you see throughout the country, there's a few things that can cause power outages. That's A, grid failure, be local fires that are in the area, and they got to shut the grid down so that it doesn't cause a bigger fire. And then the next is those heat waves, right? So, but blackout is where it'll completely kill the power to everywhere. Brownouts are more smaller sections of power that is going out. And that's what we're seeing. Another one that comes to mind that was pretty recent, there was over, I want to say 250,000 people without power in Texas because of the freeze. If you remember the Texas freeze.
Yes.
And some medical conditions, and some people died. And so solar and batteries and generators really can help with a lot of those things.
And a brownout, for those that don't know exactly what it is, sometimes Rocky Mountain, in my case, Electric, will look and they know they're going to have a heat wave. They know they're going to have a surge on the grid that could cause a blackout. So they'll plan an organized brownout where they'll take certain areas of your community or city down purposely for a couple of hours so it doesn't cause a blackout. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yep. They always have to be doing their grid maintenance and repair. And if they don't, there can be bigger problems. So brownout would be shutting down that section of transmission lines, substation areas, and then they go and fix it.
Some people are saying, like, why should the federal government or the state government participate in giving credits? And as you know, our federal leadership has determined that that's, they're drill baby drill. And again, I don't want to get into all of that, but they've decided not to give credits to people that want to convert over. Why, for those listening, do you believe, and I believe you believe, I do, that the federal government and the state government should invest for those individuals that want to convert over to solar panel? Why would that be a good idea?
In my opinion, and my experience of 15 years, is having a federal tax credit purchasing solar just helps feed more power to the grid in a shorter period of time. Obviously, the utility companies are building solar farms, windmill farms, hydro, whatever, and solar is the fastest. They can build those projects a lot quicker. So those government subsidies, it can just bring a faster adoption of solar.
Yeah. And I think that when we look at government, one of the good things that there is a place for government to step in is when we have a new technology or we have a threat to our current deliverables of electricity to our nation. So when we look at that, if I'm willing to invest X amount of dollars, and I believe the federal tax part for credit for me was a third, it ends up taking some of the pressure off of the grid and even feedback to the electric companies, the part of the electricity my batteries can't store, it doesn't get wasted. How does it make its way back to the grid, Chris?
Yeah, so people are familiar with the meters on the side of their house. You probably remember the ones that used to spin. Now they're all digital. But let's say if you have a solar system without batteries, or in your case you do have them, the batteries can only store so much power. When they're at capacity, then the power is exported to the grid through the bidirectional meter because they can spin forwards and backwards. And so it's exported to the grid, and now the utility company, that just power goes down the line to a neighbor's home or to the businesses or to the local. So that's what's nice about solar adoption residentially, is it just helps feed a lot of power to the grid.
And that makes sense because power is generated. How currently is electricity generated to be held by the like Rocky Mountain Power? Is it through dams? Is it through? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, every utility across the nation has a different source. Some are they're using coal-fired plants. A lot of those have been retired though. So a lot are moving to all the different sources of energy. That can be hydro, natural gas.
So hydro
water.
is
Water.
Water. So when you see a dam and they're generating electricity through backing up the lake. Now, there is a little bit of a problem with that right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have we have a problem with water,
Mm-hmm.
and the dams aren't filling up the same way that they were. We have a big controversy on the Colorado River, which everyone lives off that water, and the one thing we can't do without is water. When we look at the AI tech centers that they're building, the controversy is, do we have enough water to cool them? Is there a better way? So when you look at that, it makes logical sense, wouldn't you agree, for the government to say, heck, I'm a producer of electricity, and I'm sharing that. And I paid for most of it, but if the government wanted to assist me, they could take out a lot of pressure that our electric companies are going to feel in the future due to we're having some resource problems.
Absolutely. Perfect example is here in Utah. There are so many data centers that want to come here.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of power that they're asking for from, say, Rocky Mountain Power, we don't even have that much power already that's online. And we've been doing this for 70 years or longer. So that's a big problem. Is they want to come and use all the power that we just don't already have. So Rocky Mountain Power and everybody's trying to figure out the ways to bring more power online, and that's all the different sources.
When we look at China, I had an opportunity. I was invited to speak at the National Automobile Dealers Convention in Chengdu, China. Which, speaking to the Chinese dealers, was really it was such a great experience. But as I went there, I was expecting the air to be very LA-like. And I was surprised. The air was not as problematic as it had been 10 years earlier. And then you find out that the cars in China, I believe, and I may have this statistic wrong, but I think 50% of all new cars are electric cars.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that in that area?
I don't know statistics-wise, but I do know that China has far surpassed us in the amount of renewable energies that they've.
And they've got cars. I mean, it's not unusual for a car charge to go 500 to 700 miles before it needs another charge. And then I'm hearing of technology that the quick charge is as quick as 20 minutes. So the grid can be corrected, and we're seeing that in the United States right now. People said, well, we don't have the proper infrastructure for electric cars. But we have companies like you, who I had talked to you about. I'm involved in the auto mall, in the Sienna Hills Auto Mall in St. George. I'm one of the projects that I represent, and I'm an part owner of. We were going to bring you in, or have talked to you about bringing in, and we still might, is that having a charging grid, could that be 100% solar generated if we wanted to? Or would it have to be connected to the grid?
It could be solar, battery, and generator. Yeah. As far as just solar alone, wouldn't be able to. Solar only produces in a short period of time so much power. But the batteries is what the solar would generate, and then the batteries would discharge. That helps give the amount of power that is needed.
Because if we look at that, the power companies right now don't have the capability of building the infrastructure for electric cars in the United States. And so solar and batteries are going to have to be part of the equation in order to get this system built throughout our nation. Because it's coming. I mean, the lid is off. Electric cars are our future, and it sure would take a lot of pressure off of our planet as far as global warming. And again, for those who don't believe that it's happening, just go outside.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, for sure. And the utilities are trying everything they can to produce as much power as they can, generate wherever they can, so that they can keep up with the grid needs. And one exciting thing is here in Utah, we just had one of the largest solar farms. So think of a looking out and
Yeah.
seeing an array, a sea of solar panels. It was one of the largest.
Where's that at?
Came online down in southern Utah, down in like mid-southern Utah.
Is that over by
largest-
Delta, Utah?
It is east of Delta, Utah,
Yeah.
in like, I can't remember the name of the town, but it's the largest solar farm in the nation that just came online, which is awesome. That provides power to here in Vegas and California. So we're
Wow.
wheeling power across state
Right.
lines to help keep up with the power
When
needs.
you, I was driving to, if you drive to Los Angeles from Las Vegas or Salt Lake City, just before you get to the mountains leaving Nevada, there is a solar farm there that you look and it goes on and on and on. That is what every data center needs to. We should connect to it and say you have to do both in order to have a data center. Because they could help each other.
Yeah, and that all these data centers could just layer their entire roofs full of solar panels. They could do their parking lots, that provide shade to the cars and generate a ton of electricity.
Well, we're going to need it because artificial intelligence, AI, is here. I like to, my conversations I have with people, it's going to replace the American worker. No, I don't believe that. So it's going to make it easier to do projects, organize yourself, get data, but it's not going to replace true intelligence. And in the conversations you have with your friends and other leaders, you're going to be able to identify those that have natural intelligence to those who rely on AI, because they won't be able to have a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what AI can do, but definitely there'll still be plenty of jobs.
Well, tell us about things that are exciting in the solar industry that you're excited about, you and your company and your partners and others in your industry. What's coming?
Yeah, absolutely. So over the last few years, we have continued to double our growth year over year, which is really exciting. Solar is getting impacted. Biden administration brought back the tax credits and extended them for years, but then the Trump administration came in and just crushed it. The residential 30% tax credit is gone. So that doesn't exist anymore. And then the commercial solar tax credit ends at the end of 2027. So every project has to be installed and operating by the end of 2027 to get the commercial tax credit.
Well, that causes a bit of a surge in your business.
It has, yeah, it definitely has. We have been contracting quite a bit of business, more than normal, because of that. And commercially, you can get anywhere from 30 to 60% tax credit, which residential is only 30. And so we're really focusing on helping everybody we can right now in taking advantage of those before they leave.
I probably should consider this building. I look at this building is 1,600 square foot, so it's double the size of my residence. And the electric bill is $1,500 a month.
The good news is I brought you a proposal today.
Well, I like that. I like that optimism.
Yeah, I figured, well, we might as well look at the business as well.
Okay,
so,
cool.
But yeah, it would be a great thing to take advantage, which would help you add value to the building.
Yeah.
Lower your tax liability because you can take the tax credits and depreciation, and then it lowers your
Now I
average
get a
monthly
60% tax credit. Is that what I get?
you would be able to claim a 40%.
that's
The other
almost half.
20 is certain areas throughout the country. They're called an energy community area. Right here in Salt Lake, we are not one. And then there's another adder of 10%, which is low income area, which this is not in one of those as well. But yeah, we definitely can look
Perfect.
at those. But yeah.
Well, we're coming to the end of the program. I'll show you this bill one more time and thank you. $27 for my house, $5 for my car. And I'd like to give you a gift today, and this is a copy of my new book, Creating How Power, 28 Essential Lessons. Each lesson is a 10-minute read. We suggest once a day, 10 minutes for 28 days, and only once a day, so that you can get that lesson in your subconscious, let it marinate, and I'll see you at the top. I look forward to seeing the success of you and your company.
Awesome.
Thank you for being
Appreciate
on our
it.
program today.
Yep, absolutely.
Live ready, reach higher, chase the sky. Beyond thinking, grow rich, you'll learn to fly. With every step forward, the future is bright. Live ready for the dreamers, ignite your light.